Hi, bitch besties. It's your main bitch, Melly. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to another episode of the Judgy Bitch Pod.
Bitch besties, welcome back to a new episode. And look what I got. Yep, I voted. And this bitch over here, your main bitch, Melly, voted for the first time in the United States because I just became a citizen last year. And I'm so excited about this. So, yep, I hope you all went out to vote too. And since we're on the celebration side, let's celebrate my guest, Lauren. Welcome to the Judgy Bitch Pod.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And Melly, I just got goosebumps because I feel so honored to just be a witness to your excitement for being a voter and being, a new citizen here. I think that's just so wonderful. So thank you for sharing that. I feel so lucky to be here with you.
Yes, thank you so much. And you're right. We should celebrate that, right? And
Mhm.
it's a great thing. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Lauren, let's start with an icebreaker. How do you and I know each other?
So we are so fortunate that the algorithm on TikTok connected us. I'm not exactly sure who kind of got introduced to who first, but I'm
Uh-huh.
really blessed to have connected with your content. And I feel like you connected with mine, where I speak about joy on my page in Midlife. And I'm really thankful to have formed this connection. And now we're here.
I know, and I love it. And I love making friends on TikTok. You're not the first friend that I connected on TikTok with. Everybody of my bitch besties knows Molly, who has been on the show multiple times.
Mhm.
We connected over bangs because Molly had a TikTok about bangs, and that's how we connected. And now we're like bitch sisters. And I feel like
Love it.
with your content, I immediately connected to, first of all, you have the most beautiful blue eyes. They
Oh,
really
thank you.
drew me to you. And especially with the shirt you're wearing today, they really pop. Love it. So bitch besties, go and
Thank
watch
you.
the video.
Keep
But
talking. Thank you.
but also your content. And bitch besties, you need to go follow Lauren. It's Lauren Joy in Motion. Go follow Lauren and tell me, what does the joy in motion mean to you?
I think a few things. So one is I've been a physical therapist for 24 years. So motion is so important to me. And I knew that eventually I wanted to incorporate movement and motion into my content. But joy has been a really big proponent in my life as of late. So I just kind of had like this midlife, I don't want to call it crisis, but a midlife awakening where all of a sudden I realized I was living in this robot burnout mode and
Mhm.
I really wasn't living and experiencing my life anymore. And I actually came on TikTok in January because I wanted to do things that scared me. And I really wasn't sure what to post. I
Mhm.
really didn't know. And I decided that I'm a person that kind of needs structure. So I decided for 30 days, I was going to do a challenge where I sought joy and spread joy for 30 days.
Yeah,
And it started to change my brain in real
that's
time.
amazing.
And now here I am 6 months later, and I feel like a completely different person than I was last December. And I'm so grateful because in seeking joy and spreading joy, I am now inherently more a joyful person and I'm happy to put that in motion.
I love that so much. First of all, I love that you joined TikTok in January because I just joined in August when I started the podcast. So we're both late to the game, and I love that for us both. We're both in our 40s. If anybody repeats that, I will kill you. I'm 25 if anybody asks. I love that. What is the best lesson learned for you on TikTok? Is there like a trick you can share? Is there anything that I don't know yet?
I think I think that's two parts, right? So I think one of the biggest lessons is especially in midlife, if you have the inkling to post, just post because I cannot describe what an amazing community of women there are on the 40 plus side of TikTok. Everybody is, I mean, I'm very lucky. I've not experienced one negative comment. Everybody is so supportive and everybody is in this kind of midlife awakening. So a lot of us are in this similar phase where we're all looking for something and we're all connecting with each other to give each other what we need. And I feel like it's helped build my confidence. It's helped build my connections with people such as yourself. And it's really opened all of these incredible doors for me that I never knew were possible. And I would never have done it if I didn't press record.
That's so true. That's so true. And you're so good at connecting with people. You have this talent, even through TikTok, not even in person, but you have this talent to like draw people in and connect with them on such a quickly, deeply personal, maybe not so personal, but somewhat on a personal level that you become TikTok friends. Like you and I became TikTok friends so quickly.
Yeah.
You're so good at this. What's your secret?
Thank you. That's that. First of all, that really means so much. Thank you so much. I don't feel like there could be a bigger compliment than that. I feel
Huh.
like I've always been kind of been a connector. I'm kind of one of those people, like if my husband will say, like, we'll be like taking the train somewhere and he'll like the person sitting next to me will give me their life story
Yeah.
by the end of the train ride. I feel like I do kind of have maybe like an open energy field that people feel like they can connect with me. I think it kind of comes with my chosen profession too, in the fact that even though there might be some small talk that I do in my day to day, I feel like people open up to me pretty quickly because I am working with people in such an intimate setting as a physical
Yeah.
therapist. So I can kind of foster that connection quickly. But I think that's my favorite thing about TikTok is the ability to form connections with people and then
Yeah.
get people that I like to connect with other people that I like. And then all of a sudden you have this big network of people that are all supporting each other and cheering each other on, which I find really exciting.
Yeah, and you're doing it so well. I've never seen any other TikTok creators doing it the way you do, how you connect people with each other. You post regularly, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. To mention one creator, I would recommend to you, and then you go ahead and follow this creator, and that's how you connect a lot of people. Is that your secret?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. And if another secret I have that I really like too is if you have a creator that you really like, and there's somebody that's constantly commenting in their comment section that seems really engaged, go follow that person and engage with them. I think sometimes we can kind of get stuck in our own way and kind of just be focused on maybe what we're producing and how it's maybe performing. I try to really leave the metrics by themselves, not really focus on them. And I just focus on the connection with people. How are people engaging with my content? And if somebody is engaging with my content and they have a page, I'm immediately going to go to their page and kind of go and engage with their content as well. And I think that goes a long way too. You want to engage with the people that are engaging with you,
Yeah.
which is also fun. You get to see what people are up to. And I get so inspired by so many people on here. And I think it's really beautiful how a lot of women our age are challenging themselves and putting themselves out of their comfort zone to do all of these different things to explore all these facets of themselves. And I get really inspired by all of that.
Yeah, and I will tell you, you really inspire me with everything you post. I
Oh,
look
thanks.
forward to your posts. I can wait for them to show up in my For You page. I'm sorry, I don't regularly go to your page to look for new posts because they will show up anyways the more we engage, right? And I love that.
That's good. Yeah,
And
that's great.
I'm always so inspired, not only by the content you share, and you're very open in everything you share. I envy that a lot too. But also like just I lost my train of thought. Was I what I was gonna say? But you just like how you connect people. Is there something that surprises you the most of the people that you connect with on TikTok?
I think sometimes how quickly you can connect with somebody behind a screen. And this is coming from a person who, I mean, I had a Facebook page that I like barely posted anything from. I think when it first came out, like everybody, we were all excited and you were connecting with people from high school and college and all of that kind of stuff. But I was a very socially private person until this year. I actually had a TikTok account and an Instagram account. My Instagram account had like one post on it. My TikTok had nothing. And I would barely even comment on somebody's page. Very rare that I did. So for me to kind of come on here and just be like, all right, I'm going to dive into the deep end of the pool. I'm going to comment and comment and comment, and then also put out my own material where I'm engaging with people there. I think I was surprised at how quickly I could connect with people from behind a screen because I always thought of like posting on social media as kind of a scary, judgmental place. And it
Yeah,
really has not been that experience for me at all. It's just been supportive and developing connections like with people like yourself where I'm getting these opportunities that I never would have been able to get before. And it wouldn't have happened if you don't take the chance, right?
right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say actually before. That's I envy that. And I also feel like you have a plan, maybe outlined, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're gonna post, and you post regularly, and that's the part that I like so much about it. That's what I was saying. I like when your posts keep showing up on my For You page,
Oh,
and I
good.
know every day I go on TikTok there's gonna be a post eventually from Lauren popping in, and it's always something inspirational, or you share something really like true to yourself about your life or what you're going through, and I love that so much. May I
Oh,
ask, how
thanks.
much time do you spend on TikTok?
To, a lot. And I think that's an area that I feel like I need to balance a little bit
Mhm.
because I am spending a lot of time. I'm not the best tech person in the world.
Yeah,
So
same.
I spend a lot of time looking at editing videos. And I mean, in the beginning, I had to Google like how to put captions on. Like I felt like I didn't know how to do anything.
No,
So when
same.
yeah, so when I look at my screen time, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm trying to balance that a little bit. And
Yeah.
I do feel like as my page has organically grown, which I'm very thankful for, I do have a lot more engagement. And I do like to take the time to comment to every comment because I feel like if somebody took the time to connect with my content, I would like to acknowledge that and then also try to engage with that content. But that is getting a little bit harder. So I'm trying to find like a good balance because obviously a lot of I want to practice what I preach, and that is to be present in my own life, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
so I really try to set some boundaries about not being on the phone when my kids are around,
Love that.
you know, during family time, all of those kind of things. But yes, it is a little bit, it's more of a time commitment than I originally thought, but I am really enjoying it. And I'm trying to be proactive and post twice a day.
Mhm.
So, but if at any point that isn't serving me anymore, then I'll reevaluate.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's also great advice for me to post twice a day because currently I only post like once a day, if even. I have days where I don't post at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk very openly how I did leave my long-term job like 3 weeks ago. So, obviously when I was working, it was I was posting once a day then, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to, it is very challenging. I think if you are working full time and have other commitments and obligations, you have dogs, you have other commitments to take care of, it does take a lot of time. Hey, I mean, I think that's one of the craziest things. There's so many creators who I really love watching, your comfort creators. Like, I love like the day in the life vlogs. Those are,
Yeah.
how are they doing it? It's, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I actually tried to film one today. Now I got to try to edit it. I don't know. I'm impressed by all of the work that goes into it because I think that's something that I did not realize when I
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, for real. No, absolutely. And you just mentioned it. You just got a dog too. And that's another thing we connected on TikTok about
Yeah,
because obviously Peanut is my little sidekick of the Judgy Bitch pod. And now I have the foster Pixie here. And you just got Mia, who looks just like Peanut pretty much.
I know. I know. Peanut is so adorable. And Mia is, I have never had a dog. I'm 46 years old. I've never had a dog in my entire life. Neither has my husband. And we have talked about getting a dog for 20 years. Like literally, we've been married for we'll be 21 years this August. And I cannot believe we did not do this sooner. We kept talking. I feel like I kept talking myself out of it. It is a
Yeah.
love that I can't even describe. She's been with us 3 weeks and it's magical. It's amazing. So I totally get it. And I love that you have your two little cuties with you too.
And speaking of, she wants to make a cameo. Hold on.
I want to see her.
Here she is.
Oh, she's so sweet.
She
Oh
is
my
so tiny.
goodness.
Stop licking me. Don't.
Refresh my memory. How big is she again?
She's 1 year old and she's only 6 pounds. She's
Oh
tiny.
my God, she's so precious,
It's a
Nellie.
tiny
Oh
little thing.
my goodness. Hi, sweetheart.
Say hey, darling.
Oh, hi, baby.
She is, yeah. But she will go up for adoption, so not staying with us.
That that has to be so hard though, Melly.
It is. And I will tell you that I have this inner conflict with myself of wanting to
Mm,
keep her badly because I love her with all my heart. And she made such big progress ever since she came into my life. And the other side of me is like, and that sounds so harsh when I say it, but I can't wait to just have Peanut again and just have the one dog life because it is a lot with two dogs, especially one being a puppy and not sleeping through the night, not potty trained. She is damaged, jaded from the family where she was rescued from. She's very scared of everything, which is another challenge. You cannot just take her everywhere because she's scared of everything, right? So
yeah,
it's such a different life with two dogs and specifically with Pixie than just having one dog. I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do maybe an episode about my foster story. But I also love her so much and I just want the best for her. And if they don't find the best family, then I rather keep her. Like I'm
right. Well, you're such an angel for giving her the life and care that she needs right now to help prepare her for that next chapter of her life. So
thank
that's
you
really
so much.
amazing.
Ah,
People
thank
like
you.
you are incredible.
Ah, thank you. This is my first foster dog, so I've never done that before. But yeah, thank you so much. But let's turn it back to you. We're not talking about me here.
Oh, come on. That's my favorite thing to do is talk to other people. So I might
No.
keep turning it around, Melly.
I know, but I'm the judgy bitch here. And speaking of judgy bitch, and maybe one last question to your TikTok for now. I want to circle back to that later and talk about your whimsical Wednesdays too. But for
Yeah.
now, let me ask you this. And I keep forgetting my train of thought. I'm sorry, my brain is really scattered right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Hold on. It's a long work day of 3 nights without sleeping, and my brain just doesn't function anymore. I should probably get some wine or something. What was I going to ask you? I can't believe that it just slipped me.
No worries. No worries.
Let me ask you about your actual profession. You're a
Sure.
physical therapist. And the other day, I believe if I heard you correctly, you mentioned in one of your TikToks that you're also a doctor. Is that correct?
I have my doctorate in physical therapy. Yes. So I guess I'm trying to think. It was pre-pandemic. My twins are now going to be 13. They were pretty young. They were probably about 5 or 6. I had my master's in physical therapy. So I went back to school to get my clinical doctorate. Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Thanks.
So how long have you been a physical therapist?
24 years.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. It is crazy.
What drew you originally to that profession?
Uh, I always wanted to be a physician, probably from the time I was in middle school. And I broke my ankle when I was in high school, and I was going to a physical therapist who had a lovely wife who was a doctor. And he asked me if I wanted to shadow with her, and I did. And I probably spent about 20 hours with her, and she was great. And he said to me, though, what did you think of it? I'm like, oh, I loved it. I love the medicine piece of it, but I want to spend more time with people. I just feel like the time that she spent with them wasn't enough. And I want to be able to form better relationships with people that are a little bit like longer in duration. And he said, look, Lauren, look how much I know about you. I'm a PT. Would you consider going into this profession? So that's kind of how I got introduced to the field. And I worked with him, through high school and college and got drawn to the profession, which is great.
That's amazing. Wow, what a great story. But then
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, you decided to leave that job. What made you decide that?
Yeah, was working for the past 10 years with the oncology population, which I love. And that's where my heart has always been. I've done it several times throughout my career. And even when I was in grad school, I did my thesis on massage in patients who are on hospice. I just always felt drawn to working with that population. And it's beautiful.
Hmm.
And it's an honor to work with people at all stages in their diagnosis and their plan of care, but it's very heavy.
Yeah.
And, I think something in the pandemic changed me
Hmm.
working for, an institution where there were a lot of demands on us as clinicians during that time
Yeah.
and a lot of demands to keep things very safe. Put
Hmm.
a lot of stress on me. And I don't think I realized it as much in the time until that stress kept piling on and piling on. And unfortunately, like every big institution and corporate America, I think the demands are getting more on employees with less time to perform them. And I just wouldn't sacrifice my quality of care. So my response was to just work harder. I worked through
Yeah.
lunch. I did a ton of overtime. My time with my family got less. And I kept getting sick and I was living in a state of burnout that
Yeah.
was so overwhelming, but I don't think I recognized it when I was in it. And
Mm.
last summer, I started having some stomach pain probably in May or June of last year. And, like I think a lot of women, you just ignore it and you're like, oh, I drank too much coffee or I tried a new protein powder or I'm just stressed.
Yeah.
And to the point, I was on vacation with my family in August and I was really sick. Like I had to come home, go to the hospital. And
Mm.
after, some weeks of testing and stuff, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune condition. And I kept working because that's what we do, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't take off. I just got to keep pushing through. And in
Yeah.
September, I was so sick, I couldn't work anymore. So I took 3 months of disability to kind of get my health back on track, but I still wasn't there. And I went back part time. My job was great with that. And unfortunately, I approached them a few months ago asking if I could stay part time, and it was not something that could be sustained. So I knew I couldn't work, 50 plus hours a week anymore. And I didn't,
Mhm.
nor did I want to. I think God kind of hit me over the head with a frying pan and was like, you need to really evaluate how, like, you're
Yeah.
not living your life, right?
Yeah.
I left my job and I didn't really I still don't really have an exit strategy. And as somebody who is very has had a very linear path, that can be very frightening. But I'm really leaning into this season of life where I'm trying to explore who I really am at my core and how I want to use that to lead my way into the world into this next chapter.
Yeah, I love that. You are such an inspiration. As I keep telling you, you are such an
Oh,
inspiration. First of all,
thanks,
you're also
Lily.
an angel for working with the population you work with and you are open to work with and inspired to work with. Not everybody can do that. So that's a true angel that can do
Thanks.
that. And then also to have the guts to leave your corporate job because you realize it's not good for you. I feel like you mentioned, it started in the pandemic for you that it shifted. And I feel like a lot of us feel this way
Mhm.
since the pandemic, it has shifted. The pressure on us working corporate jobs has risen so high, right? And now for me as an office job worker, AI comes on top of it. That's an
Mm.
additional pressure, right? So we're all fearing where is this going to go. So for you to have the guts and to say, this is not doing me any favors right now, I'm not feeling well, recognizing that for yourself and then taking the consequences and say, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see what life else has in store for me. I can just applaud you for that. That's amazing.
Thanks. And of course, I mean, I have to appreciate that I, we have saved a lot of money and financially, I could
Yeah.
make that decision, right?
Yeah.
My original plan was to take off for the summer and be with my kids, but I've never done that before, right? Like I've never had the ability to really be home with them in the summer. And then we looked at our finances and I was like, all right, I've got to figure out next steps. So,
Yeah.
I'm doing some per diem work at my friend's clinic. And then I took a job as a waitress.
Yeah. I was just going to
down,
ask you about that. How's
yeah,
that going?
it's good. So when I really I started looking at jobs, right, for in my
Yeah.
profession, and I still like my health isn't exactly where it's getting better every day, but it's not where I
Right.
want it to be yet. And I started looking at jobs and I like felt like a pit in my stomach. And I just knew I wasn't ready to stick with something more permanent yet. I just wasn't ready. And I started thinking about, okay, Laura, what are some things that you enjoy? Right. So I enjoy being around people. I enjoy being outside. I enjoy being on my
Yeah.
feet. I enjoy being busy, right? And I've waitressed in the past, like in my high school and collegiate years. And I thought, you know what? Like, why not? I live pretty close to the shore. And I figured I could just take a seasonal job. That way it's something that's not permanent and,
Yeah.
be outside with loud music and make people happy and, just kind of make some cash and just kind of do something different for a little bit and have some fun. And
I
I
love
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, I've only had 2 days. We just had orientation, and I start really waiting tables tomorrow. But I'm excited. I figured if it's something that excites me, I'm just gonna go with that feeling, right?
I love it. You are such a role model for me. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a husband who can also contribute to the household.
Yeah,
So it's just me and the dogs, which is tough, right? But I always think if I lose my job to AI or whatever other measurements, I could always go back to waitressing. I used to do it in my 20s. Granted, I'm 25 plus now.
no.
My body is telling me every day we're not 20 anymore. So it might be a little, I don't know. How do you feel about, are you afraid for your like physics and like your back and walking and standing all day and carrying heavy stuff? And
I am somebody who is always in motion, hence joy motion. So
yeah,
I am a person that moves a lot. And I did, obviously, my other profession, I do move all,
yeah,
I was moving all the time, but I was surprised at how sore I was. Like, I don't know. I was like,
yeah,
oh God, my legs are sore. Yes, I'm emotionally 25, but my body is definitely not 25 anymore.
same.
So I definitely feel that. I'm lucky where I am. I had to food run and like carry trays the first 2 nights, but I will not they don't have them do the servers do that on the regular.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it won't be as much overhead yet. I don't know if I could sustain that long term.
That is cool. Have you started to learn the menu yet?
Yes. Yes, I have. And yeah, I have like my little billfold and I put like all my cheat notes on there. So for
That is so
tomorrow
cool.
I'll be ready because I can't remember anything. I'm like, what drinks do we have? I don't know. Like, so I need to have my perimenopause brain cheat sheet ready right there for me.
I was just going to say that. I mean, you notice it. It has been a long day for me. I just came from work. I start working super early. I get up at 4 a.m., making excuses,
Oh
whatever.
my God, Melly.
Yeah, my brain at the end of a day is frazzled, right? I can barely
Yeah.
remember my own name. And you notice I keep losing my train of thought because my brain is just done. Plus, I'm not the best sleeper with perimenopause and all those symptoms, right? The foggy brain, the not sleeping at night, the
Mm.
weight is a problem for me. All of a sudden, all my bones are achy. I should probably come and see you and get a really good PT session in. So, but you are such an inspiration. You're like, I'll deal with that. I'll give it a try. Well, you don't have the bodily issues as much because you're a physical therapist. You know how to stretch well, which you also posted the other day. And I love that video. One of my favorite stretches were in there. But
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I find that just so inspirational that so that gives me hope a little bit. If I lose my job, I'm just going to be like, Lauren, I'm just going to go waitress somewhere.
Oh my God. I know. My friend actually, my friend works in banking, and she said, and actually, this is actually a really funny story, Melly. So my son is going to be 17, and I came home. I was originally going to work at another restaurant, and
Yeah.
I had a contact there, but his friend works there as a busser, and I was like, I can't do that to him. I can't work where his friend works. So I applied to this other restaurant, and I got the job, and I came home and told my son, I'm like, oh, guess what? I got this job. And he goes, Mom, his friend, let's say his friend's name is John. John works there. So his friend literally just got a job at this other restaurant. So now I am working with his friend. And John's mom said to me, she goes, you know what, Lauren, I'm pretty much done with my job in banking. Like, can I come join you and we'll just waitress together? We're going to start a movement.
I think you're starting a trend there, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how much money I make tomorrow, Melly, before we make this jump.
Well, let me know before I leave
I
my
will.
job.
I will. I will.
But also, coming from a corporate world, do you think success has changed for you a little bit? Like, what does success look like now?
Oh, that's a good question. And that's a loaded question, right? I think
Yeah.
something I talk a lot about on my page too is a big identity shift that I'm having right now because I have always identified as like a hard worker and somebody who I wouldn't necessarily say in my profession that I've been driven by success. I've never wanted to go up the managerial chain. Even though I've been
Yeah.
offered many times, I've always wanted to be a clinician. But I have very high standards for myself
Yeah.
and have had very high standards for myself, both in my personal and professional life. And I think that I'm starting to reevaluate my definition of success because if the hard work is changing for me, right? I'm trying to lean into a softer season where I'm not focusing on my busyness as much. I'm not trying to pack my day as much. I'm trying to be more present in my life and focus on the moments of joy. I think that is now becoming my definition of success is
Love that.
am I living my life now instead of how much am I muscling through my life? How much can I
Yeah.
pack into my to-do list? Because my life had become about my to-do list. It was the only way I knew how to survive.
Yeah.
And I realize now that it's not a way to live. Like we have one life and I don't want my life to be defined by my to-do list.
Yeah.
And I think that in really recognizing by making these deposits of joy into my day, this is how I'm supposed to be living. Like today, I just sat and like watched the clouds for like 5 minutes. Like
I
I
love
can't,
that.
I haven't done that since I was 5 years old. And you know what? I did it because I saw another poster. Her name is Brave Old Soul, and I love her on TikTok. If you're not following her, and she just posts all these nature videos. And this is what I mean. I get inspired by so many different people on this platform that are finding success
Yeah.
in the life that they're living. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just slowing down a little bit to notice the beauty around you.
I love that so much. Especially, I feel like since the pandemic, the pressure has risen, but also my anxiety level is constantly on a
Mm.
high. So sitting down and watching clouds sounds like amazing. Like I wish I could do that.
But yeah, I don't know, Melly, do you tend to do this? Like I felt, because I really was struggling with a lot of anxiety. I've always think like I've been like a more on the higher anxiety side of things, but
Yeah.
the pandemic for me definitely put me like
Oh, for
next level.
sure.
And then you add in like hormonal changes as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But my way that I managed it was to swallow it down and
Yeah.
to just be busier. I
Yeah.
filled my days so that way I didn't have to address the things that were making me anxious.
Yeah. Yeah,
And did you find that you've done that?
I feel like a lot of people cope this way. I
Yeah.
I'm currently in a phase where I'm trying to be a little bit more like you and try to slow down. Like when I'm watching TV, I'm forcing myself not to grab the phone and also be on
Mhm.
TikTok at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more intentional and do one thing at a time. And that helps me a little bit with slowing down. But I need to sit outside and watch the clouds for a little bit. I love that idea. That's amazing. I am lucky that I have the dogs. And normally before Pixie came in our life, I used to take Peanut every day into the dog park and sit in the grass and just play ball with them.
That's nice.
Yeah, now that we have Pixie, he's babysitting all day long. So when I come home from work, luckily he's tired already and I don't have to go anywhere,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're exhausted too. So,
as
and
you
is
can
the
tell.
is the dog park anxiety producing for Pixie?
No, I think she's used to grass. So she feels very comfortable in the grass. And she, from day one, peed even outside, which is huge for her.
Yeah.
She had to learn that here in Hollywood on concrete, and she came on grass and she peed right away. So that seems to be something she knew from her past life. And she likes other dogs a lot. So that gave her comfort. I think she likes the doggy park. For me, it's a little stress level with her because she is an escape artist.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I'm so nervous to drop the leash and she runs off or something. Or now she was in heat, a little tiny baby in heat and all the male dogs going crazy. It's
Oh
like,
God.
God, the last thing she needs is ending up pregnant right now. So stay away.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it used to be like a place where I can relax after work, although it also adds like to your schedule, right? Oh, I have to go to the dog
Hmm.
park. I cannot sit on my couch and, do whatever. But right now I'm glad that it's a little looser for my schedule and I can just sit on the couch.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But stop turning it on me. Let's turn it back to you. You're doing really good. You're really good at that. Let me ask you, what do your kids say, or what do they think that you left your corporate job and you're starting something new?
It's actually really interesting to say this. So my oldest son, he's a junior in high school. He had to interview somebody last night, like for a project he had to do,
Yeah.
where we actually spoke about this. So the question was, what's a situation that changed you, and what would you recommend about that? So we actually had a pretty lengthy discussion about this. I think my kids in some of these are really happy that I'm home more, right? I'm home more, I'm present more. So they're really happy with that. I
Yeah.
think they're also happy to see that I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
I don't think they necessarily equated the two together, but I think the fact that I am kind of returning to myself and able to do a lot of things more is really good for them. But I do think, going back to that conversation, we had a conversation about making sure that whatever path you choose career wise, to make sure that you don't equate that to your identity, that you don't equate that to let that take over your life, because it's one component of your life. And
Yeah.
that it's very important early on to establish healthy boundaries for your time, for your energy, and for your space, to make
Mm.
sure that you're not taken advantage of and that you're able to have a little bit better balance. Because that's something I never did. And the queen of no I should say I was the queen of no boundaries. It's something I'm really working on. Where you
Mhm.
need me for something, you need me to stay extra, I'll do it. You need me to do a project, I'll do it. I was a yes person. I was a
Yeah.
yes person to everybody but myself. And
Yeah.
so talking with my kids about that, especially as my son's getting ready to make decisions about college and what career he wants to go into, I'm hopeful that this will be a lesson for him, and maybe my other two, if they kind of absorb that, it is only one piece of you. And for
Yeah.
me, I identified as two things. I identified as a physical therapist and a mom. And that
Yeah.
the PT part of me was so strong that now I'm like, "Well, what am I doing with my life? All right, now go be a waitress for a little bit." It took me
Yeah.
a little while to um, kind of accept that, I think, and to
Yeah.
kind of grapple with that. And then I realized that that is just one piece of me. That's it. It's one piece.
Yeah.
And that's not really what I want to be known for in this world. If I help people on the way along the way doing that, that's great, but
Yeah.
it's not the core of who I am.
Well, look at you. You're helping everybody on TikTok right now because everybody's inspired by you.
Oh, thanks.
Are you ever worried about what other people might think?
I mean, I think we're all human, so you do think about it a little bit, right? Like, I'm going to my 25th college reunion this weekend, where I know I will see people that, I went to PT school with. And, you know, maybe a little bit, but I'm kind of in my like can I curse on here? Like, I'm kind of in my like, I'm kind of in my FM phase. Like, who cares? Like, it's my life. You're not living my life. So it really doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And I do feel like, I really feel like to my core, I have like so many good things coming my way. So, I'm just kind of open to everything kind of coming this way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be career driven.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I did feel it a little bit more a few months ago. And I think I've just kind of come to terms now that, my health and my life are more important.
Yes, 100%. Is there a lesson learned already in your short period that you've been out of the job and like starting something new? Is there anything you can share with the bitch besties?
Yeah. I think if your job has become a part of your so-called identity, are there ways that you can look at yourself and your core values to see what are those values that
Mhm.
are contributing to your identity that are not just your career? So
Yeah.
for me, when I think of it, when I really sat down to think about it, I'm like, what do I want to be in this world? And I
Yeah.
want to be the light that I wish to see in this world. I want to seek and spread joy. So however that path takes me career wise is how I'm going to show up. So it doesn't necessarily need to be one particular career where I'm leading with my core values. It can be something completely different, and that's okay as long as I'm being true to myself and what that core value is.
I love that. I love that. I want to circle back for a second to your burnout experience you
hmm
had. Was it a true diagnosed burnout or did you recognize for yourself, I burned myself out. I need to do something else?
I think it's something I didn't have a true diagnosis now
Mhm.
because I don't think it's something that and I had been to my doctor several times
Yeah.
saying I'm feeling A, B, C, and D, but I don't think
Mhm.
anybody put that together because unfortunately, I don't think it's something that's talked about enough in the medical community.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's something I recognize until I put the pieces together when I got out of it that I was like, God, that is how that every check, the symptoms of burnout. I was experiencing all of them and
Wow.
not realizing. And you're right, like a provider was not putting that, like all of the pieces together, even though I kept saying I'm feeling A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah. Yeah. What were the most prominent symptoms for you, if you don't mind sharing, like for other people to recognize that they might be close to a burnout or in the middle of a burnout already?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a pretty extroverted person and I really didn't want to be around people. Like I would come home from work and
Mhm.
usually we would make my husband and I both love making social plans with people. And I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do anything. Like, or if we had plans, I felt like this drudging sense that I had to do it instead of feeling joy and excitement to having external plans that didn't involve,
Yeah.
work or my family obligations. I
Mhm.
think number two, I think I was getting sick all of the time, like all of the time. Like if somebody had a cold, I was definitely going to get it. And I kept getting weird things like a infection on my face that lasted forever. I lost my voice for weeks at a time. I got shingles. I got shingles in my 40s. Like all of these
Mhm.
weird things because I wasn't taking good enough care of my body. And
Yeah.
my immune system was so low that I was just picking up everything in my path. And I think I lost excitement to do things that I previously had really loved to do. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not a mental health provider. So I think some of this can overlap with some depression too, but I don't think I was depressed. I think I was just my battery was so tapped out and that my nervous system couldn't enjoy the things that I used to enjoy. Like
Yeah.
I'm a person that I love to exercise, and every day I would wake up early and go to the gym, and it felt like another thing I had to do to check off my to do list. So I
Mhm.
had lost a lot of my spark. I think a lot
Yeah.
of what made me me,
Yeah.
and I can look at that now in hindsight, but I didn't see it necessarily when I was in it. Just maybe that I had these cluster of symptoms, and I was tired all the time, like all the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So probably those four things.
I feel seen. Maybe I'm burned out.
Yeah, I mean, it's very. I mean, again, especially you add in the not sleeping of
Yeah.
things.
I think that's
You
what
know,
it is for me. It's probably more sleep depression than anything
yeah,
else. Yeah.
yeah. I
But thanks
actually,
for sharing.
I actually think that for me has been the biggest optimizer for my health is trying to optimize my sleep
Yeah.
because when I don't, I can already seeing things backslide a little bit.
Yeah. And I know it's only been 3 weeks for you since you left your job, right? Did you
Hmm.
say 3 weeks? Yeah. And in Germany, every summertime, I'm from Germany originally. Every
Hmm.
summertime, there is reports on TV and documentaries where they make like show studies of how long should you take off from work. And it's very common in Germany that people take 2 weeks or even 3 weeks in the summertime
Wow.
off from work to go on vacation. And the studies usually show, if I remember correctly from back in the day when I lived in Germany 12 years ago, I believe they usually show that it takes 3 weeks to really disconnect from your job and to really forget that you actually have a job and start the vacation mode. So what we're doing here in the United States of taking a few days here or maybe a week in summer is really not healthy for you. So that added to the pressure and, everything else that we're doing here in the US, we're doing it all backwards. Do you think burnout has been normalized pretty much?
Hmm. I do. And I think, I mean, don't you feel like sometimes so many people, I know I was guilty of this too. Like,
Yeah.
I wore my busyness as a badge of honor. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just look at all these things I accomplished. Not that I was like judging anybody else. It was just like my own internal brain.
Yeah.
Like, if I could check things off my to do list. And I don't know when as a society we thought like that. And I think that's so interesting that you say that because like, even just in Europe, I mean, I've never even been there, but just knowing from stories, like, taking, like, a longer break in the middle of your day, and, like,
Mhm.
you take it. You take that break. You're not
Yeah.
shoveling food in your mouth during your lunch break while you're typing notes because you don't have any other time to do it. You're actually
Right.
taking a break. You're giving your brain and your body and your soul a break. And, yeah, I think you're right. I think we've normalized it, and I think it's become the expectation, and I
Yeah.
think it's really unfortunate.
Yeah. And how do I word this? Have you started working out again? Did you get your spark back ever since you leave? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did. I really had to cut back on my workouts when I was really, really unwell.
Yeah.
And it made me really, I think, develop a better appreciation for the ability to move. And
Yeah.
so when I started, I always walked the whole time, but when I started lifting again, I had a newfound appreciation for the ability to do it because
Yeah.
I felt like I lost it. So yes, I definitely have. And I've been exploring like new types of movement, which I haven't previously done in the past. Like I started
Like what?
to dance. I started to teach myself how to dance. I've never been comfortable in my own skin to dance. So I started to like do some like dance classes on the TV, like with the TV, and just to start to like have an appreciation for moving my body in new found ways that I never
Yeah.
really gave myself the permission to do before.
Yeah. You did a Zumba class, didn't you? Do I remember that correctly?
I didn't, but somebody recommended that I should, and it is on my to-do list. That is like that gives me so much anxiety because I
Really?
am so uncoordinated when it comes to that. So my goal is to get a little bit more comfortable at home, and then
Yeah.
it is definitely on my bucket list. My friends and I also talked about like trying to do like a ballet class and just kind of doing some different things, which should be kind of
Yeah.
fun.
That's funny. I used to do Zumba back in the day. When I first moved to the United States, I even found a Zumba instructor who would come into my company office. We would use the kitchen, move all the chairs and tables aside and then dance Zumba in the kitchen. And I remember I felt so good about myself. I'm dancing here and
I
I'm
love
doing
it.
this and this. And then I caught a glimpse of myself in the reflection of the glass doors, the mirror pretty much, right? I was like, oh my God, I look like a potato sack that's
But isn't it interesting how our brains like you felt so good in the
Yeah.
moment, but it was something with your brain that made you feel not
Yeah.
comfortable. And I think that's where like you think about little kids when they are dancing, they have no inhibitions
Yeah.
whatsoever. They're just
Yeah.
doing it for the enjoyment of it. And I would love to get to that place. And I hope you do too, because I think
Yeah.
that's really I don't know, that's a cool story. And doing Zumba work, that's kind of fun.
It is fun and it's supposed to burn so many calories. So,
Yeah.
ever since I moved to the United States, no surprise, I put on so much weight, right? Because it's so different here. First of all, everything tastes better because it has a lot of butter and sugar in it. So you eat more. But also, I'm older now. I'm in my 25 plus perimenopause phase, and it's just not so easy to lose weight anymore. And, it's in my belly mostly. But I did take the consequence out of it and said, I love Zumba. I love how it makes me feel, how I feel while doing it. I just don't want a mirror there. So
Right.
eventually I moved to Jersey City. You might know, you're from the East
Yes,
Coast.
I know
But
Jersey City. Yeah.
yeah. And they were dancing on the pier by the water. So you're overlooking
Oh,
the skyline of Manhattan while you're Zumba dancing, and there's no mirrors to be found nowhere. And I loved it for so long. I used to do it in summertime all the time.
did you live in Jersey City?
I used to live in Jersey City. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome because I used to live in Hoboken, so I used to go over there
Fun.
all the time. That's such a fun place. Is that where you moved when you first came from Germany?
No, I moved to Belmar,
Okay.
Jersey, like
Yeah.
down the shore.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
then eventually I moved up to Jersey City. And then I was in Jersey City for a long time. And 2 years ago, I moved to LA, and now I'm in LA.
How do you like LA?
The weather.
Yeah, the weather's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I would tell you, I miss New York so much. If I could take the weather from here, I would immediately go back to New York. I miss New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
I had I was talking to a New York coworker today, and she told me how humid and hot it was in New York the last couple of days or week or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I'm good here.
Yeah, my brother used to live in LA, and I used to love going to visit him, and the weather was perfect every single
Yeah.
time we went out there, but the traffic was not. But
Yeah.
you got to take the good with the bad.
I agree with it. And that's actually something that I talk about a lot. I feel like ever since I moved here, why am I talking about myself again? It doesn't matter. Ever since I moved here, my lifestyle has changed so much. I feel like in New York, after work, we would go out for happy hours a lot,
Mm.
either with my coworkers, or I had this like doggy community in my building where I lived in Jersey City. And we became such close friends. We would watch each other's dogs and go on a, Taco Tuesday, go have margaritas, or, I was such a social butterfly in New York, and there's always bars and restaurants and alcohol involved, right? Now I moved to LA. I took a huge pay cut, to be honest, because LA doesn't pay the same salary for the same job like New York does. And for me personally, my cost of living is so much higher here because now I have
Mhm.
the added car that I didn't have in Jersey City, right? So I lost a lot of money, and I'm also spending way more money. So I can't really afford my lifestyle anymore of going out all the time. It's just not in the budget. Plus, I don't really have the friends here to go out with because everybody lives a different lifestyle. It's more, the creative part of it is more the entertainment industry, right? And their
Mm.
schedules are all over the place. So they don't even have time when I have time, you know?
Oh,
And
that's tough.
the other part is everybody's driving, so nobody really wants to drink. And then plus being in the entertainment industry and being in LA and, summer all year round pretty much, everybody is so into like fitness and how they look. So they don't want the added calories for drinking necessarily. There might be people who do, don't get me wrong. It's just my personal experience. But I feel like my lifestyle has changed so much. So for me, it's like, I'm living here. I'm pretty much more by myself with my dogs now. I like hiking. I enjoy the weather to the fullest, right? But it's completely different from my social butterfly life that I lived
Mm.
back on the East Coast. I have less money here. I also start working way earlier, and I have the rest of the day with more sunshine and nicer weather that I enjoy. And I sit in the doggy park, but I also missed it. So make the decision for me, right? Like which life is better? You know what I mean? Like I go so back and forth in my own mind because it's just a complete different life. I feel like I'm living two lives in one lifetime right now. I had the New York
Yeah,
life and I'm living the LA life. Yeah. So
right. Now, with your job, because you said you get up at 4 in the morning, are you working on East Coast time?
yeah. hmm
Okay. Okay. Would you be able to, if you wanted to, shift to New York and still keep the same job?
I probably could, but the way my company currently operates is we have traders in our office that trade on the stock market. Pixie wants to say hi again. And because they work with the New York stock market, we have to work East Coast hours, right? I'm an executive assistant. So for me, it doesn't really matter. And the manager I'm supporting does not necessarily need me there early in the morning. But because of the traders, they bring in lunch for everybody who comes in before 6 a.m., they get lunch. And then once the traders have eaten, we're allowed to eat the leftovers if we come in before 6. And because my finances are kind of tight here, I, profit from this benefit of getting free lunches every day if I come in before 6 a.m. So
Yeah,
that's fine. And I also,
that's a long day though.
it is a long day, but you're also
Yeah.
getting used to it because I try to go to bed by like 8:30. so because I wake up at 4, but then also I get home by like 2:30, 2:45, and I still have so much daylight left, especially in the winter
That's
time,
nice.
right? So
Yeah, that's
I
nice.
can take
Get
care of
time
the
with those
dogs.
cuties.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyways, you keep flipping it back on me. You're really
Well,
good at that.
I would say one thing, and I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and it's something that I don't know. Are you a believer in like seeing signs from the universe? I'm a big
Yes,
believer in that.
100%.
And if I don't know, like my sign is always feathers, right? I see feathers everywhere. And
Yeah,
I feel like if I see one when I'm out and I'm thinking of something, like I was thinking so much about leaving my job and leaving my job. And I kept seeing these feathers when I was thinking about leaving my job. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, like Laura, you have to keep your eyes open to recognize what those signs are. And
yeah.
it kind of helped lead my path a little bit to be aware of that. And I think it's like kind of like a form of prayer or putting your attention to what your true desires are.
I
I don't
love
know if
that.
that would help for you to decide, what like when you're out at the dog park or with your dogs, what's your sign that you see?
Son. And see, I always say I'm like a flower, right? So that's the other side. In New York City, especially in the wintertime, it does rain a lot, right? It's
Yeah.
gray a lot. You don't see the daylight necessarily because it gets dark at 4. I'm tired 24/7 in New York in the wintertime because I
Mm,
need sunshine like a flower, which I get here in LA, right? I feel
that's
so much
beautiful.
better here. Although now when I wake up, it's still dark. When I walk the dogs, it's still dark. But once I'm in the office, I usually see very pretty sunrises we're on the 14th floor, so we're pretty high up, right? And that's just beautiful. I just love the
That
sunshine,
is.
honestly. Yeah.
And I will tell you, I live on the East Coast. This winter was brutal, Maui. So
Yes. I'm so glad
it
I
was,
dodged that one.
was brutal. I was throw a couple of blizzards in there. It was
I
not good.
know.
So maybe you
I
need to enjoy
know.
those sunrises in LA a little bit more.
Anyway, Lauren, I want to bring it back to you. I know there's one thing that you introduced, I think at least on your TikTok, or maybe you were doing it before, but that is the whimsical Wednesdays. Talk to me about
Yeah.
that.
So actually, yeah, I got that idea from somebody else. And I just love the idea that she's like, I just want to add more whimsy to my days and I'm just going to do it on a Wednesday and have a whimsical Wednesday. And I think I've done 14 weeks of that now. So every Wednesday, I just have the intention of, all right, I'm just going to do something that's really playful in my life, either for myself or my family. And it's been fun. It's been fun. And to think that Wednesday was always the day that I hate, it's like the hump day, it's like the middle of the
Yeah.
week. And to take something and be really intentional with how I'm introducing play into my day as a woman in my
Yeah.
40s has been really fun.
That is fun. What was your favorite so far of the whimsical Wednesdays you had?
I mean, I've had a lot of favorites. I mean, my one favorite, and I think it's my favorite post that I've done on TikTok,
Yeah.
is I really wanted to go see Florence and the Machine in New York City.
I
And
love that.
I just didn't have anybody, like none of my friends could go. It was the middle of the week. Everybody had stuff going on. And I woke up that morning and I was like, you know what? It's Whimsical Wednesday. I want to go. It was after work. And I was like, I just bought a ticket. It was inexpensive because it was last minute. And I just went to the concert by myself. And
That.
I had never even been to a movie by myself before, and it was one of the best experiences of my life thus far. And it was transformative. And I know this sounds stupid because I don't want to say that TikTok, I'm not doing it for the content. It's
Yeah.
more that I'm doing it with the intention. And
Yeah.
that intention is what is changing my life. Right.
Yeah.
And I would never have had that experience otherwise. I don't think I would have been I would have been like, oh, well, nobody can go. It's okay. I'll just go another time. What if there is no other time? What if the time is now? It is now. And it
Yeah.
was an incredible experience for me that I'm really grateful that I did.
I love that. And I will tell you, sometimes the perspective of posting whatever I might plan to do is motivation for me a little bit. Like just
Hmm.
because, even when I go hiking by myself just with the dogs, right? Sometimes it is hard to get my lazy ass off of the couch and go climb a mountain somewhere, right? In the
Yeah.
heat and everything. It is hard to get the motivation to do this. But then the prospect of posting about it and bragging about it a little bit, that I climbed that mountain and I made it and take all the pretty pictures along the way. It might be a view. It might be wildflowers. It might just be Peanut looking at me, bitch, what now? Seriously, we're walking up that hill. You know, just sharing that with the world and getting feedback on that might be wrong of me. A therapist out there might be like, Melly, you don't need acknowledgement or whatever. But for me, it is motivation a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's accountability too, right? Like I made a promise to myself, okay, I'm going to start this series and I'm going to keep continuing with it. You're doing the same with the hiking. You're going to keep yourself accountable to it. I have
Yeah.
to say, I those are some of my favorite posts of yours because
Oh, thank
when
you.
I would go visit my brother too, I used to love going hiking in the canyons with him all the time. That was my favorite part of going to LA and also seeing if we could like see any celebrities. That was always like the fun
Yes.
part too. But I love seeing those post reviews. So I'm so glad that you have the motivation to post. And yes, I think that is the interesting thing about this, right? Like I'm not living my life, and I don't know if you're the same way, but like I'm not living my life for the content, but I am
Right.
changing the way that I'm living because of the content. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's like kind of meta to say that, but I get inspiration. be- Let me put it this way. I think this is a better way to put it. I'm going to speak about joy specifically because I think
Yeah.
whimsy is the same thing. Our brains are very malleable and plastic. Like I'm a science nerd to my core. And if we do things that make us happy, like you went hiking, for example, even though it was a little tough to get off the couch initially to do it, that activity made you had the intention to do it. Then
Right.
you did the activity. Then you're enjoying the activity when you're doing it. And then you're posting about the activity. And then
Yeah.
you're getting a hit of dopamine from
Yeah.
the activity itself, from the intention, and from posting about it. So
I
it's
agree.
not just the activity itself, it's all of it that is
Yeah.
making your experience that much better. And then to have people share in your joy of it is
Yeah.
like the icing on the cake. I don't know if I explained that the right way, but that's kind of what I've been experiencing. And then that's motivating for me to continue to live my life with that intention and to keep posting about it, especially if it inspires somebody else to make
Yeah.
a positive change in their life.
No, you explained it perfectly. Like I couldn't, with my frazzled mind, I couldn't explain it this way. You did it perfectly. I love that. What does joy currently mean to you?
I like to think of joy. I like call it like pockets of joy in my day, right? And I
Yeah.
can also think of it like a deposit of joy. But the pocket of joy is I feel like this is different for me than gratitude. It
Okay.
literally is looking at my day and seeing, okay, what are intentional decisions that I can make my day happier and to make my day joyful, not just for myself, but for my loved ones around me,
Yeah.
like strangers around me, whatever it is. And let's give an example. Like if there is an activity I don't want to do, I had to recently do some onboarding paperwork for my friend's company that I'm going to be working for, my friend's clinic.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 hours of work, and I just didn't want to do it. And I thought, okay, what are some activities that I could implement into this to make this better for me? So
Mm-hmm.
I took my computer outside. I made like a really nice matcha for myself, and I was really intentional with how I made it. I brought my dog Mia outside and I put some nice music on while I did it. So I made some intentional decisions on how to take a task I didn't like and make it something that was much more enjoyable for me.
I
So
love
that's
that.
step one. And then I also look to, all right, what are some areas maybe of connection with either my friends, my family, myself, or like the universe that I need to make myself feel a little bit more whole during the day or to feel a little bit more joyful. Let's say I haven't seen a friend in a while. Okay, like shoot a quick text. All right, are you free for a walk? Like looking at those areas that I could
Yeah.
intentionally make my connection a little bit better. And being mindful with those decisions has been really impactful for making my life just better.
I love that so much. This is really great advice for everybody out there, for the bitch besties listening. And also we post this on TikTok for the people following us on TikTok. This is amazing. Do you also have some advice how you stay grounded on a daily? Or if you only have 5 minutes a day, what do you do to bring joy into your life or stay grounded or, just to get out of this grinding mode?
Yeah, I think the biggest change for me has been setting a daily intention and being really thoughtful with that intention. So, a lot of times, like I'll give you an example of what maybe I did, and it may not be specifically what I wrote down this morning, but it was something that I've like kind of carried with me throughout the day. And I write it as if it's happening right now. So,
Yeah.
like for me, it would be I am grateful for all of the abundance and light that is given to me in my life. And I am grateful for the ability to spread that abundance and my light to other people throughout the day to day. And then whenever I am going through my day and I'm not aligned with that intention, I try to remember that intention. So if one of my kids like pisses me off, like, wait, Lauren, that's not the light you wish to be. That's not the light that you want to spread in this world. And I kind of
Yeah.
check myself. And I think that for me has been the biggest life changer is to set a daily intention with how I want to live my life and then be mindful of that intention throughout the day. A lot of times too, I'll like jot it in my phone and that way I can reflect on it too if I'm out and about during the day. And it's been really life changing for me to do that.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Told you, bitch bestie, she has the best advice. It's amazing. Lauren, I want to be mindful of our time. We're a little over an hour already, but before I let you go, I would like to play 2 quick games with you. Do you still have 2 minutes?
Sure, sure.
Amazing. Awesome. So the first game that David, that's what I call ChatGPT, because obviously he's a man, you have to tell what to do, right?
I love that. I'm going to call him David from now on, too. A lot of times, David's wrong, too. David has steered me wrong sometimes. I don't like that.
Told you he's a man.
I know.
So the first game he came up for us is more joy or more stress, right? So I'm
Okay.
going to give you some phrases and you decide just on the spot. Don't overthink it. Just quickly, whatever pops into your mind first. Is it more joy or more stress for you? Okay. So the first one is posting a vulnerable TikTok.
More joy.
Love it. Talking to strangers.
More joy.
Nice. Grocery shopping on a Sunday.
Total stress.
Agree. Starting over in a new job.
I'm going to say I'm like half and half, but I'm leaning towards the more joy. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay. Please do. Home alone with all 3 kids.
Oh, more joy.
And one last one for this game. Dancing in public.
Oh, it's totally stressful right now. I'm working on that though. I'm really working on making that a joyful thing. Come back to me in a year with that question, Melly. What day is today? Today's June 2nd. Come
Yes.
to me June 2nd, 2027, because I want that to be more joy.
I love that. Which of these that I just asked you were different for you even like 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Just remember what you just asked me now, Melly. I like blanked. I like blocked out.
The TikToks, the strangers, the
I
shopping on
think
Sunday, the new job.
the new job definitely would have been stressful for me,
Yeah.
for sure. Talking to strangers, I actually, that's a good question. I think probably pre-pandemic, I would have said more joy. And then I think over the past few years, I think
Yeah.
as I got into that phase where I didn't want to be around people as much, that would
Yeah.
have been more stress. And I don't feel that way anymore.
See? And I'm going to ask you next
Yeah.
year and then we'll see what your answers are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it's more joy for all of them, except the grocery shopping. I don't think I'll ever be there.
You know what? I came up with a plan for me recently that I try to do grocery shoppings on Wednesdays and I try to do my laundry on Thursdays after work. And then Thursdays are my new Fridays because I work from home on Fridays and usually it's quieter. But I do want to use my Fridays either for myself to have an additional weekend day besides working, or I do a
Yeah.
lot of podcast work on Fridays. So it's, I do a lot of interviews and editing on Fridays. So then the weekends are really free of any chores or any things
Yeah.
that I
That's great.
do. Of course it adds to my week and it doesn't help with my frazzled mind, but at least I have the weekends for myself.
At least it's done, right? And I guess it's like, okay, I mean, I'm gonna actually call myself out here, right?
Go for it.
Can we make any activity? Can you make it more joyful? That's really what I'm all about lately. So
Yeah.
how, like, can I make like a good playlist the next time I go to the grocery store? Can I do like supermarket sweep style and try to see how quickly I can do things? I don't
Yeah.
know. I got to work on that because come back to me in 2027 for that one too. And I do want to, again, every activity that I don't like doing, I want to infuse more pockets of joy into that. So
I
we got
love
to work
that.
on making that better.
I love that. And you know what I've been doing recently? I've been getting a lot of Trader Joe's TikToks and I love them. Like, 4-ingredient dinners with all bought at Trader Joe's. And I was never a Trader Joe's girly because I would go in there and I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. But now the TikTok gives me examples with the most delicious looking meals. Now I'm actually excited and look forward to go to Trader Joe's, buy what I've seen on my TikTok, go home and cook it. So that's how I made my grocery shopping a little bit more joyful.
See, that's amazing. So you got inspiration from other people. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
And
wonderful.
TikTok is actually,
I'll have to go onto that side of TikTok so I get more excited too. That's awesome.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you save money too, because they give you all the tips
They
on
are
how to
cheaper.
make like dinners with 4 ingredients and you pay $15 for family of 4. For me,
That
it's like,
sounds that sounds perfect.
yeah, for me, it's 3 days of dinner. So I don't even have to buy as much. I still manage somehow to spend $100, but that's a different story.
It's everything. It's crazy.
The last game I want to play with you comes with a question before we get into the game, because I saw on your TikTok that one of your followers sent you a whimsical wand. How did
Do
that
you want
come
me to
about?
do you want me to show you it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll go grab it. Hold on. I actually have I have my friend here too.
Oh, Mia. Huh?
Mia. Oh, she got some toys sent to her from my sister-in-law, so she's all
Oh my
excited.
God, so cute. How old is
Yeah,
she?
she's 3.
Oh,
We had just adopted her right at that end of my job. It's amazing divine timing. We had been
perfect.
searching for a dog for about 6 months. All right, you don't want
She
to be up
is
here.
the
It's okay.
cutest. She is the cutest. If Peanut could meet
She's
her,
really
I
so
swear
sweet.
they would be besties.
They would. They would. Okay,
That's
so
okay.
this is the wand that Joy F sent to me. So I'm just like so blown away by this beautiful community on TikTok. I
Yes.
swear, I really cried when I got this package. So Joy is a woman that I connected with, and she had purchased these wands that you can make on Amazon, and she made a post about it, and she had reached out to me to ask me if she could send me one because she felt like in me talking about adding whimsy into my life, it gave her permission in midlife to also experience that for herself. And that it was such a beautiful reminder for all of us that we don't have to live in this burnout, check things off your to do list mode. And it really has allowed her to find play in her life. And I mean, I really cried opening this card. I mean, I made a post about it and it took me like probably 4 takes and I still couldn't get through the
Oh,
post. But like the first one, I mean, I was really, because it's just amazing to know that sometimes like your words, like
yeah.
even if they impact one person, it's really, I mean, it's just an amazing community. And I just felt very inspired by her to know that like I could keep going and keep posting.
Yeah.
Even though I mean, my family makes fun of the whimsical Wednesdays all the time now. Like, what's going on today, mom? you know,
Funny. I love
but
that.
they've come to love it too. But yeah, it was really special, and it really meant so much to
Oh,
receive a gift like that, and that somebody would also take the time to make me something and send it was really
absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah.
And I will tell you a secret, because Joy F sent you that. I started following Joy F, not because I want her to send me any gifts or anything. Absolutely not. I just feel like a sweet person with such positive energy needs to be in my life too. So
Yeah.
I follow her now. I want to see her posts more. And now that you just say play, the dogs started playing. So I apologize if there's background noise. The dogs are going wild right now.
Oh, I don't hear him at all. That's great.
Good. Good. But
And
that,
that's what I love. I love about like I like to highlight other creators too, and I hope that that
yeah,
connects other people. Because I think that's the best part is when somebody like you follows somebody else that I like, maybe because of a post that I did. Like I think that's the beautiful part of this community too.
I love that so much. And that could be also one part what success looks like for you right now, to, full circle of the episode.
Yeah.
Not only to build a community, but to also see it come to fruition, how other people start following each other and like what comes out of the work you put in. I love that.
I want to be like the Kevin Bacon of TikTok, like
Yes.
the 6 degrees of Lauren Joy in motion. Let's go.
Yes. I love that so much. But let's get back to our game. You have your whimsical wand ready?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So the game is called Whimsical Wand, obviously. And you know how you have one wish when you meet a genie? Now you have a
Yep.
whimsical wand, right?
I love
So
it.
so what's an instant, if you could instantly master one skill, which skill would it be?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I'm gonna say dancing. We'll
love
circle
that.
back through that full episode. Yes.
Yes. Um, remove one adult responsibility forever.
I'm gonna say laundry.
Peanut, I didn't ask you, I asked Lauren. You gotta be quiet. Love the answer, Andre. Me too, please. If you could give women over 40 one superpower.
The ability to feel comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, wow. That's a big one. I love that. And
Mhm.
one last one for this game. If you could relive one day in your life, which day?
Um, I think it would be my wedding, my husband and my wedding. I think just not just the fact that it was our wedding, but just having all of our friends and family in one place. Now that so many of them also have passed, to go
Mhm.
back and relive that beauty of being around
Oh,
all of those people would be, and to see all of those important people in our lives again would be really wonderful.
oh, I love that. I love that. Let me ask one more question for this game. What would you like to wish for your followers? What's one wish you would like to give your followers?
That's a great question. I hope that in my posting that people feel a little bit more inspired to find those small pockets of joy that they can put into their days. So
Yeah.
that way that their life isn't just about a to-do list, and that you start to do things like dance like nobody's watching and feel comfortable doing it, or
Mhm.
sit and watch the clouds for 5 minutes.
I love that so much. And since this is the Judgy Bitch Pod, I give you the platform to be judgy or bitchy for one moment. So, what is something or one expectation that you feel women in their 40s have to or think they have to complete that's complete bullshit?
I think that we have to do it all. I
Yeah.
think you can I think you can do it all, or maybe that you can have it all. And you can have it all, but maybe not all at once.
Yeah. What's one thing in your life, maybe before or after the change you made, that really had judgy bitchy?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Oh, sorry, Peanut was barking. What's one
No,
thing?
please.
What's one thing in your life before the change or after the change that really sometimes got you to the edge of like judgy bitchy? You just wanted to, lose it.
I think it's towards myself that
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable enough to establish healthy boundaries, which were needed to protect my mental, physical, and emotional health. And I
Wow.
think I look back at that person and I just want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can look at myself in a
Mhm.
judgy bitchy way, but I do look at myself in a kind that person in a way that I just want to go give her a hug. And I think there's a lot of us women that are like that. So
Yeah.
I just wish that I felt more comfortable establishing, just boundaries for healthy living.
I love that so much. Lauren, this episode was honestly great. You gave so much great advice and you are such an inspiration. I think every one of my bitch besties needs a Lauren in their life. So please tell them
Oh,
again where they can follow you. And bitch besties, please do.
thank you. Thank you. And Nelly, this has been so wonderful sitting with you today, too. You really are.
Thank-
And I told you this on my page. You really are like a kind and thoughtful interviewer. And I'm just so
Oh, thank you.
impressed with being on here. You made me feel really comfortable. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
I'm only on TikTok right now. Lauren, Join Motion on TikTok. And hopefully I'll get an Instagram soon, but that's like a whole nother beast. I gotta master the one thing first.
Yes. And you are already mastering it. So, bitch besties, please go and follow Lauren on TikTok. Once she has an Instagram, I will let you know so you can follow her there as well. Please do me one more favor. If you like this episode, please share with all of your friends and family and tell them also to follow the Judgy Bitch Pod on Instagram and on TikTok. Lauren, it was such a great pleasure having you. Thank you so much. Please stay on for one more second. And bitch besties, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Bitch Besties, for listening. Make sure to follow us at the Judgy Bitch Pod. And hey, spread the word. Tell your friends, your ex, your dog walker. We'd love the support. Want to be part of the show? DM us your feedback, hot takes, or unapologetic opinions. We just might read them on air. And don't forget to follow, rate, and review the pod. See you next week. Cheers, bitches.